Lisa Stephanie Garzon. So we have to start to answer to the questions of the guide to intermediate English. Okay, the first question is: could the U.S. Air Force have prevent the attacks? I have two theories: the conspiracy theory and the official theory. So the conspiracy theory is then the vice president of United States in this moment, Dick Cheney, ordered the military not to intercept the aircraft. The U.S. Air Force of United States was in the ability to intercept any aircraft that mean endanger to the integrity of American soil. Was enough for 10 minutes to reach and shut down any type of ship, always thinking about the welfare of majority of the population. The official version is it was an unusual case of aerial piracy, and the transponder, which emits signals to determine the exact location of the aircraft, was switched off or modified. In addition, that day a routine military training exercise was carried out in the United States Air Defense Command. The air traffic controller, Colin Scoggins, was in constant contact with the military. There was confusion and lack of communication between the Federal Aviation Administration and the armed forces. Military equipment was also obsolete and pointed to the ocean to face a threat from the Cold War. Okay, this is my answer.
Okay, my name is Diana Marcela Ortega, and this is my answer. The events of September 11 reflect an operation that was anticipated and prevented by intelligence agencies from around the world. In fact, the circumstances of September 11 clearly reflect what is called a stand down, that is deliberately let down of the Air Force, because the building were attacked in New York 1 hour and 15 minutes before the attack on the Air Force Pentagon. It is a standard procedure that when prohibited airspace shock as the one in Washington or the World Trade Center is violated, or when the radio beacon of the planes do not respond, planes immediately intercepted. There are daily routine tests for decades, in which the F-16 are sent to intercept planes in prohibited areas. In addition, the people accused of jihadist the plans were on list of suspects to be monitored by the FBI and the FAA, but the airlines were not informed. These people were traveling and buying tickets with their own names with any problem. This is my answer.
My name is Mayeli Garzon. This is my answer. Referring to the videos, the attack could have been stopped by the lack of the policing on the part of those agencies was exacerbated by the mistakes of the officials who were in charge in the morning hours. They were not prepared for these events. The plane that crashed into the Pentagon as the first state could have stopped. NORAD officials as well as the FAA described that since of the events of the September 11 have changed a lot, have established chains of communication. The generals are delegate authority to order fighter pilots to destroy hijacked aircraft, fix their planes. With this alert has increasing also pick their patrol the cities and be vigilant in the events that the United States have and which may be possible terrorist targets. The lack of communication and not being coordinating the different attacks were each of the authorities who were in charge of defending and responding in case of attacks. In the case of Flight 77 of American Airlines, separate from its trajectory the high curve target of the plane's transponder. In stopped sending data to air traffic controller, the FAA lost contact through the radar. This could have been avoided if President Bush had given the order to destroy the airplanes and that military could not do it safe by rules of the family military. They do not allow what we took the president intervention. The president acted in his role as first authority and gave the order after the Pentagon was attacked. Mm, Second, the F-16 of the Langit Air Force Base near Norfolk, Virginia, would have had to have been launched again. It finished my answer.
Okay, the question two is, were the Twin Towers deliberately demolished by explosives? According to the study of some European physics, the temperature of the fire was not so high as to melt the structures to the point of breaking them. Also, there was not enough time for it, as the videos can be seen since the planes collided until they collapsed. In this sense, they point out that 660 degrees Celsius is needed to cause a collapse like the one that happened on September 11, 2001. Also, the security measures of this building will prevent the structure from being damaged by high temperatures, especially when fire systems are activated. According to the authors of the study, the entire steel structure was protected with fire retardant material, so they will act as a surefire and prevent reaching the high temperatures necessary to melt the steel and cause the collapse. In the case of the Twin Towers, the report states that the Twin Towers were designed to withstand the impact of a passenger plane against the structure. The study records the word of the head engineer of the structure of the Twin Towers, John Skilling, after the attack. In the Seattle Times magazine, he said, "Our analysis indicates the biggest problem will be the fact that all the fuel will along in the building. There will be a fire, a terrible fire. Many people who died." But he added, the structure of the building will remain intact. In this sense, the only way they knocked down the Twin Tower was with a controlled internal explosion. This is my answer.
This is my answer. The overwhelming consequence has favored the official explanation that fire tornado inside buildings weakened the structure still and caused its collapse. We spoke of controlled demolition for which explosions were used for the topic of the tower deliberate and intentionally. In this case, it's impossible that the fire had caused the weakening of the columns and the beams because of the heat caused by the inside when the airplanes collide. When the structure failing as the result of the explosion, for that caused a pulverized amount of debris which dispersed about 370 meters away. In the case the sprinklers system could have reduced the heat factor and whose structure is ready to avoid any fissures and about the collapse of cooling domino effect. This is my
Okay. In this case, I have two theories too. So the conspiracy theory is the planes did not cause to the fall of the Twin Towers. It was a controlled demolition. To test this argument, some theories highlight the rapid collapse of the buildings, about 10 seconds, short durations, fire. The second tower lasts 56 minutes and the first 102. And explosive sounds that were recurred before of the collapse that are apparently were made with thermite explosive. These sounds were reported by some survivors of the attack, but their testimony was omitted officially by the American government. The official version was an extensive investigation by the National Institute of Standards and Technology in the United States concluded that the aircraft damaged the supporting columns of the buildings and caused the insulation to be released to prevent the spread of the fire. About 10,000 gallons of gasoline for aircraft were irrigated in several floors and generate fires. Temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees Celsius sank the floors and fouled some columns, generating in the process the sounds of explosions. Controlled demolitions are always carried out from bottom to top from the base, but the collapse of the Twin Towers started from the upper floors. There is no evidence that there have been explosive charges despite thorough searches, nor is there any reason to believe that some columns were previously cut. These procedures are common in controlled demolitions. Okay, this is my answer.
Question 3. Were some people forewarned about the attack? It's a warning that certain institutions or individuals had previous knowledge of the attacks of the September 11th in the United States. Among them were the Bush administration or the armed force of these same countries had knowledge of the methods that would be used and were a protagonist calling Al Qaeda in its activities within the United States. Enter in addition to the warnings received for foreign agencies, not they were specific enough to take preventive action for these events that had marked the history and possible failures at both person and instruments that could have saved many lives. Did finish my question.
Okay. On July 10, 2011, the FBI office based in Phoenix, Arizona, sent a report to Washington, D.C. with warning of suspicious personnel taking courses on how to pilot an airplane, and the result was an omission of information by the state. Afghan Foreign Minister Hamed Mutakawil said in all the media in his country a phrase that resonated like a prophecy that was approaching imminently. The phrase is, "The guests are going to destroy our house," referring to Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda as responsible for the crisis that the country will face when being involved with the Afghan regime. A month before the attacks was arrested the only person imprisoned for the attacks today, Zacarias Moussaoui, was arrested because that at the time he was taking aviation classes did not want to learn to take off or land planes, which caused great curiosity in their instructors, who immediately alerted the FBI. This man was arrested for illegal immigration, and when the attack happened, everything was clear. They gave live to subject who is being held in Arizona. James David, deputy director of the CIA, at the time declared that the government couldn't read the clues that were given at the time in order to prevent the attack. Okay, this is my answer.
Okay. The Russian intelligence agency and Putin had already given signals to the USA government of the attacks planned for that day. Similar
Vietnam. Oh, fuck. Esperemos que caiga. Wait. Vietnam. No lo puedo creer. No.